comment writers out here keep talking about grains and oil seeds have totally decoupled from the energy markets. I wouldn't be too sure of that. I mean, I don't know how one would know that for sure, other than, hey, crude oil is going up again and corn and beans and wheat aren't on fire. Maybe that's what they mean. But I would be careful thinking that that is true. I think that wheat will follow crude. I think corn will follow crude. There's a 90% correlation. And remember, the reason we're bullish crude isn't just because of war. We were bullish crude before the war came in because of its relationship to silver. Once silver broke out of that cup and handle and went higher, yeah, crude has to follow. This is an allocation rebalancing. This is an asset rebalancing, I should say. You can't take one asset up and not take another asset up. It's just like if land prices went to 50,000 an acre all of a sudden, well, corn price would have to go up, or you couldn't afford the cash rent off that ground. You couldn't afford to grow the crop. And so assets have to correlate at some point. And so I don't think wheat and corn are going to go down if crude oil goes up, and I think crude oil is going to go up. I think we're not seeing the massive appreciation of crude oil because we haven't felt the oil shock yet, and that will come. Countries like China still have a lot of reserve. We have a reserve. We built that reserve up over the last few years, the end of the Biden administration, into the Trump administration. And so you're not going to feel it absolutely at the pump immediately. But diesel fuel is going to push up towards $6. It's probably over $6 in places right now in the country. But if you go overseas in some of these countries that are closer to the Strait of Hormuz that have already felt the shock, their gas prices, diesel prices have shot way up. Their fertilizer isn't arriving. There's a need for that fertilizer to grow a crop. And that is what is happening in India. So I wouldn't be too sure that we're decoupling. You know, markets don't have to sync up tick for tick, day for day. There can be a lag in there. But if crude oil prices go higher, don't kid yourself, corn and wheat, soybean oil is not going to move lower. So I'd be careful listening to all that rhetoric. There is going to be a time where we got to get things sold and sold aggressively, because I think this strong El Nino that everybody is pushing in their forecast, doesn't matter who you listen to, that's going to provide for a large crop this year in North America. If that comes to fruition, that is going to provide for good growing conditions, cooler weather, plenty of moisture, and we will see big crops. And so you can't sit here with nothing sold. But I think right now, with all this uncertainty, I still like where we sit, waiting, watching, and seeing what happens. If you watch wheat, you watch crude oil, it'll tell us what's happening with the war. Is the war going to be settled? Is the war ending? Or is the war going to continue on? Your guess is as good as mine.